how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Sigmas and Gamers. And today, looks like the former Halo and Destiny composer Marty O'Donnell has been found in contempt of court over use of Destiny assets. And so yeah, that's certainly not a really good day for Marty O'Donnell. Well, since he's also gonna owe Bungie $100,000 on this part based on what I've read right here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this article and talk about this unfortunate news for Marty O'Donnell. And let's go ahead and go with it. So it starts off with saying that composer Marty O'Donnell has been found in contempt of court over his use of Destiny assets and now owes Bungie tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And in April this year, Bungie served the celebrated composer behind the original Halo music with contempt of court papers over videos related to Destiny that were uploaded to O'Donnell's YouTube channel and other platforms. Man, I gotta say, you know how these corporations are these days, like how they just get very overprotective with their IPs and just kind of kills the creativity on YouTube, which does kind of sucks a lot. Like I can't understand where they're going on with it because it's business and all that, but seriously, I think they're becoming more like Nintendo, just pulling like a little stunt like that. So some of these videos were early musical sketches of what became a Music of the Spheres, the much-loved musical foundation for 2014's Destiny. And of course, in my opinion, I think the original music for Destiny was probably the best in my opinion. And so the contempt of the court claims relates to the terms of a prior lawsuit between Bungie and O'Donnell over his acrimonious exit from the company, a lawsuit O'Donnell eventually won. So yeah, and for those who have been around back in the early days whenever the first Destiny was in development and heard about this shocking news about Marty O'Donnell getting fired from Bungie due to not meeting deadlines and which is pretty frustrating because they're just trying to rush him trying to compose the music, and then he just kept on not hitting deadlines. That's why they probably fired him. But to be honest, I think they were constantly rushing him and with all that stuff back in the day, and also, although I am glad that he actually did win in the lawsuit, but and just seeing that he has also has to pay a fine based on just all this drama just going on based on YouTube. I gotta say, I feel like this is kind of way over the top, as I probably said before. And so then Bungie said O'Donnell, who was Bungie's veteran audio director until he was fired in April 2014, was ordered to return all material related to Music of the Spheres and Destiny, and was blocked from sharing or performing it as part of the 2015 injunction. And Bungie said all material includes not just Music of the Spheres in their state, but all versions, components, and variations of the tracks. That is all material involved in any way in creation of the music and Spheres of Destiny. And then fast forward to 2019, when O'Donnell began uploading videos and other materials relating to Music of Spheres and Destiny to his YouTube channel, as well as Bandcamp. So Mr. O'Donnell's very possession of such material proves he did not comply with the order of return of all material to Bungie, and Bungie motion reviewed by Eurogamer reads. So okay, so I guess I'm kind of can really definitely understand why they did that, and it's just kind of really sad that it happened and all that. So Bungie also noted that O'Donnell posted tracks and albums titled Sketches on MOTS to Bandcamp, where users were able to pay him a fee if they wanted to. And then Bungie argued all this activity amounted to a contempt of court in violation of the 2015 injunction, and the court agreed. And on the 12th of July, Judge Regina Kahan of the Superior Court of Washington King Country ruled in Bungie's favor, and Mr. O'Donnell intentionally disobeyed and hereby held the contempt of the September 17, 2015 order confirming and enforcing final arbitration on award or the order entered in this matter. So the representative of Bungie said the company is unable to comment on ongoing litigations, but pointed to the court's ruling above, and O'Donnell declined to comment when contracted by Eurogamer. And the court has now imposed upon O'Donnell a number of sanctions, including a third-party forensic examination of his electronic device in order to delete any assets relating to Destiny or Music of Spheres. And O'Donnell must also remove all the relevant material from the internet he has already done this. If you're wondering where all went on his YouTube channel, and O'Donnell must also write to any third party he's aware of who also posted the material to ask him when to remove it. And O'Donnell is also ordered to post a message, is the wording of which the parties agree on, to his Twitter, YouTube, Bandcamp, and SoundCloud sites channels, stating that he did not have legal authority to possess or provide material related to the Music Spheres or Destiny, and asking anyone who previously downloaded any such assets to delete them and to refrain from sharing and will destroy any copies of them. Mr. O'Donnell will refrain from making any direct or indirect public comments regarding these posts, including the response to those inquiring regarding the basis for such posts, and will let the message speak of itself as ordered by the courts. And O'Donnell has so far not done this. I gotta say, this is getting crazy here. And O'Donnell must also pay Bungie all money of any kind he received from the sale of related materials uploaded to Bandcamp, and O'Donnell is ordered to pay Bungie's reasonable costs associated with the contempt proceeding, including attorney fees as well as fees associated with the third-party examination of his electronic devices. And these fees are currently in dispute, with O'Donnell's representative arguing over near $100,000, and Bungie has called for his unreasonable. Let me just go ahead and reread that part. These fees are currently in dispute, with O'Donnell's representatives arguing in the near $100,000 Bungie has called for is very unreasonable. Yeah, I gotta say, because, and sure, you know that Marty O'Donnell has broken some rules based on like what we've read here so far. You know that it was like, clear as day that he had to agree to them, but I gotta say, just like $100,000, I gotta say that's an insane amount of money right there. You had to find O'Donnell with. So O'Donnell's dispute with Bungie has remained quiet until now, and although fans had suspected something was up after his YouTube channel was scrubbed of Destiny-related videos, and he deleted his Twitter account. Well, that's really sad to hear. And even though personally I don't really have a Twitter account, like a personal Twitter account, but except the Twitter account that I use to promote this brand, Sigmas and Gamers, but. Basically, yeah, I kind of delete my personal account mainly for mental health reasons, but I digress. Just a story for another day, and then let's go ahead and get back to finishing up this topic. So the Twitter account was later restored, aired on the 3rd of June. In a now deleted tweet, O'Donnell said, in quotes, "I'm thinking about retiring from the games industry for good." And O'Donnell then signaled in another deleted tweet that he may be forced to shut down his YouTube channel. When asked why, O'Donnell replied, "Ask Pete Parsons. Parsons is the CEO of Bungie." This tweet was also later deleted. Man, I guess safe to say I kind of been in off the grid for a while based on, because just as somebody who's been off of Twitter for many months, us personally, and just using Twitter only just to promote my business here with Sigmas and Gamers. I gotta say I've been totally off the grid, but hey. I gotta say, it's probably better not to know more about it. Otherwise, might kill my mental health. Because, if you kind of for those guys, you guys who have been on Twitter, I gotta say, hey, Twitter is a really cesspool that can really damage your mental health, and also is not really good for the mind. And yeah, I know I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit, but just I'm seeing this right here, just kind of, I don't know, just kind of I move away from it. But right now, yeah. Ward, go ahead and shut up and just go ahead and finish up this article. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that, and without further ado. So, then on the 4th of June, O'Donnell tweeted to ask his followers to consider buying the soundtrack to Golem, the 2019 PlayStation VR game he worked on at his new studio, Highwire Games. The money will help with my huge legal bills, he said, and thank you. This tweet remains online. And Highwire Games is currently working on a controversial Iraq war game, 6 Days in Fallujah, and O'Donnell's exit from Bungie was thought resolved in 2015, but 6 years later, the fallout from the high-profile split rumbles on. And geez, I remember way back when all this really happened, back when I was still beginning my first full year of college, back in when I was in community college, and my very first year when I was just a freshman. I remember seeing all this haywire going on back whenever he just abruptly got fired in April 2014, and just seeing deal with all this legal stuff in 2015, which I'm I'm really glad that he managed to win the legal suit like won the legal suit during that time. I'm stuttering a little bit right now, but just seeing all this happening right here, man. And I'm kind of feeling bad for O'Donnell, and I kind of personally do have a lot of mixed feelings about this news. Like, on our side of me, because I'm a big fan of O'Donnell, and especially a fan of the music that he composed for the Halo series, or basically the original Halo trilogy. I gotta say, it's definitely one of the best soundtracks in gaming, in my opinion. Like, right up there with The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers and Final Fantasy. Like, it's one of the most iconic tracks that personally still sticks with me to this day. And just gotta say, this is I bet this is a really stressful time for him. Just had paying a fine line of 100 grand, and now just saying he's gonna retire now, and just deleting these tweets due to being emotionally stressed out about at all this stuff that's going on with Bungie and all that. I gotta say, and I pray for him that he actually will persevere through this, and despite how controversial this new game for Hardware Games is going to be, as mentioned in the article, hopefully he will get through this, and sure, he might have broke some agreements, but I can really understand how he feels about all this going on, and let's just hope for the best for him. And that's all I gotta say. And if you have your own thoughts or opinions based on this this kind of bizarre event that's been happening on with between Bungie and O'Donnell, then be sure to sound out the comment section below, get a discussion going, and thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.